Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to talk about Mr. Tromokratis. Now, when I first read Tromokratis, I thought, wow, this is going to be just another plain, mono blue deck with just, mana ramp and my dude and whatever. But anyway, I read him again and something stuck out to me. Okay, he has hexproof as unless he's attacking or blocking. That's fine. So sitting still on your opponent's turn, he has hexproof. So this is awesome. It prevents a lot of the, spot removal. Now, this second line here is what to really caught my eye. Tromokratis can't be blocked unless all creatures defending player controls blocks it. All. It does not say all creatures that can block do. It even in parentheses, if any creature that player controls can't block, it can't be blocked. Like, say, if the creature is tapped. Now, so that's where I went with it. And I thought, you know what? We're in mono blue. There's a lot of ways to tap things. Sleep was my go-to. There's actually a meme out there somewhere on the interwebs of me sleeping. Anyway, it taps their team, which, is kind of self-defeating because, let's face it, the only reason why we're trying to tap a dude is to make it where it's unblockable, but if you tap them all. Anyway, sleep makes them not untap. Tidal Surge is 2 mana. You can tap up to 3 creatures without flying. So a lot of times you can actually tap, 3 different players' creatures, if that's what you choose to do. Rush of Ice for 1 mana. This is actually really good because once you've actually started looking at the casting cost of a lot of this stuff, 1 mana to tap target creature and it doesn't untap. So you play your Rush of Ice, you tap one of their dudes, you hit them with Tromokratis, that's 8 general damage, and then it's not going to untap, so you've got a free shot on them next turn too. So this 1 mana spell allowed you, and it's got Awaken, so, that's a thing if you draw it late game. Bluster Squall. Overload. It's pretty good. It taps a dude or taps all the dudes. Icy Blast, you can tap X here again. And if you've got your general, which you probably do, you have Ferocious, so those creatures will not untap. Downpour, there again, taps up to 3. Mind Games is a tapper that has buyback. So for 4 mana, you get to tap something, put it back in your hand. It's not horrible. Choking Tethers, tap up to 4. You can also cycle it away if you don't need it. The original tapper, Twiddle. Had to dig back in the beta binder to get this one. Just twiddle, it taps or untaps something. Gigadrowse, another essentially tap X, where X is the amount of blue mana you spent. Permafrost Trap. Yeah, there's a way there to play it cheaper, but you get to tap 2 dudes and they don't untap. Ojutai's Breath does it, and it has Rebound. Twitch draws you a card and does it. Innervate from Ice Age. Yeah, that's right. We played with this. Well, okay, I played with this. I lost with this a lot. Anyway, it does tap a thing, and it draws you a card. Jolt taps a thing, draws you a card. Crippling Chill taps it, it doesn't untap, and draws you a card. So Crippling Chill is really good for the deck. The Grip of the Royal taps it, you draw a card. Now, enchantment-wise, it just about doesn't get any better than a frozen ether, because if they cast a creature, it's coming into play tapped. There go, they can't block your general. Quiet Contemplation. See, we don't have I have 6 creatures in the deck. 6. So you're gonna, you're gonna want to pay that one. Hey, you just tap that thing and we're good. Frozen Solid, I guess it's Blue's version of O-Ring. The hey, tap that and it doesn't untap, whatever. Frozen Solid, it does get destroyed if somebody damages it. Claustrophobia, it taps it and makes it not untap. So that is really good for 3 mana. That is, Encrust, very much similar. It just doesn't untap. Now, Thrasa's Ire is also 4 mana colon. That's the part I love the most, because you can just activate it all whenever you want to. And of course, Flood. You can't tap flowers, but you know what? It comes out early. It's cheap to activate. This is not a bad card. Even if you're just tapping a token, it's not. And of course, Flood is also as defensive as it is offensive in this deck. Most of our tapping is we're tapping offensively so that we're not being blocked. But this, you can totally tap down a non-flying general or whatever. Thought about actually playing with the all creatures lose flying deal, but the deck is so dang focused, it just kind of, I didn't have room. War Tax is going to make it, pretty hard to attack, because I'm out of propagandas, let's face it. Dreamtides. Now, this I like. Just flat out creatures don't untap. Everybody can pay to untap their non-green dudes, but if they're green, they're screwed, because they're just not untapping. Iceberg. I do have quite a bit of artifact mana ramp, and Iceberg actually I kind of count as part of that mana ramp, because yes, it's an X spell. You can play it down cheap initially. Okay, here's how layaway works. Your down payment's cheap, but when you pay on it every week, or every turn in this case, you end up maybe paying a little more. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've used layaway. I don't know. But anyway, you spend 3 mana, you put a counter on it. Essentially, you're putting a mana on layaway. It costs you 3 now, but you're spending 3 mana to store a mana for later. I like Iceberg. Really, really do. My massive 6 creatures, Palladian Mirror and Silver Mirror, are 2 of them. Of course, those are the part of the ramp. Now, I got Wonder, simply because I figure he's going to die, or I'm going to discard him, or what. But, hey, why not give Tromokratis flying? Because that makes all the sense in the world. The Merfolk little Sea Stalkers here. 3 mana. Tap a dude. Wall of Frost. Yes, believe it or not, I sleeved up a Wall of Frost. Knowing what your deck does, it doesn't take too long to figure it out. If you're the opponent of this deck, Wall of Frost looks really scary then, because unless you can punch through 7 and kill this wall, you're in trouble. So just the Wall of Frost will ward off a lot of attacks. Frost Titan. Don't have the cool ways to bounce, but, hey, it's all good. Now, I am playing with a card that directly works against the Frost Titan. But I'm doing it on purpose. It's not to hose the Frost Titan. It is because both cards, Frost Titan is exceptionally good, and Torpor Orb is exceptionally good. Like I said, we don't have a lot of creatures, so we're going to play a lot of games that we don't even see the Frost Titan. So, but the Torpor Orb comes down early, and it affects like every single color of most decks. Imagine all those. Nope, doesn't happen. Whelming Wave puts everything except your general back in its owner's hands, which is totally fine. Now, Haunted Cloak. Now, okay, the story behind Haunted Cloak here is that I contemplated a little while with the stasis thing since I was tapping so much, and the Haunted Cloak give my general vigilance, so I was like, meh. Yeah, this is a spot I can actually improve upon. The other equipment, Fire Shrieker, is self-explanatory because why do 8 general damage when you can do 16? Elixir of Immortality is a insurance policy. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Icy Manipulator and the Puppet Strings are my creature tappers. Now, we're going to roll through some mana rocks here, which is exclusively what they are. The Sis's Ring, of course, the Gem, Soul Ring. By the way, one of the greatest turn ones ever, and I know you out there right now, if you've ever done it, you know the feeling. Turn 1 Soul Ring, tap it for Medallion. Medallion of any color, it doesn't matter. It allows for, turn 2 5 mana drops. It's beautiful to cast your Singular Vampire or Sarah Angel on turn 2. Awesome. Pristine Talisman, Basalt Monolith. Running the Paradise Plume. Yeah, it's 4 mana to get a blue colored, but it also has the life gain thing. It's not great, but in a monocolor deck, it's also not horrible. Fractured Power Stone, y'all know why. And the Prismatic Lens. The rest of this I have got is, I'm going to call utility. Now, all of those artifacts, and I really want to get the Fire Shrieker, so fabricating for the Fire Shrieker is pretty good. High Tide and Mono Blue, that, to make sense, as well as the flow of ideas. Chose this over Fish Eyes. Behold the only counter magic in the deck. I figure if you're going to run one, run the one. If you've got it, you got it. If not, oh well. It's not really a counter deck anyway. Windfall is part of my card draw, as well as Rush of Knowledge. I mean, our general's expensive, so hey. Impulse for the filtering. I guess Ether Snatch could also be considered a counterspell-ish, maybe. You could potentially steal a creature, a spell, a whatever. Yeah. As long as it's on the stack, you can take it. I like that they printed this. This is really, really neat card. Displacement Wave is, you're probably going to cast this to return everything just under your general. Now, the last two, Drain Power, I absolutely love. If your opponent has a mana dump, which not a lot of decks do, there are some that do, but, as a blanket statement, most decks don't have a way to just instantly use all their mana. Drain Power is pretty good. For 2 mana, you can, especially in a multiplayer format where you've got choices of opponents, and you can get your general out there pretty quick this way. I like that last line. You can't take less than all of it. And then, of course, the opposite of that is tap all your lands, you got nothing. So, for many, many years, this was a time walk a lot of the time because during their upkeep, you just mana shorted them. I did it. I've had it done to me. Doing your upkeep? Mana short. You good? My turn? Okay. Sweet. And I love the one little rose petal falling off. I don't know why. And I don't even know why the hell there's a rose. This was way back in. Anyway. That's what I've got for Tromokratis. Let's see if I've got any kind of cool non-basics. I mean, I've got the storage lands of the through the years, but that's all the cool stuff I've got for Tromokratis. Just it's all about winning with general damage and having an unblockable 8/8 general that has hexproof on when it's not your turn. So this is a beautiful thing. I love it. I appreciate you guys for watching. Y'all let me know what you think. C17, it's coming. So we know about cats and dragons. And cat dragons, of course. But it's vampires, and they haven't given us the last tribe. Of course, vampires is probably purely speculation. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.